Guys, can we talk for a second? Hi guys, I am always tardy to the party, but finally over the weekend I saw Wicked.
The best way to bring folks together is to give them a real good enemy.
You're green.
I am. Don't be afraid. It's the wizard who should be afraid of me.
The wizard that there is or was is ever gonna bring me
Now I only read Wicked, and that's been several years ago, but I fell in love with it then. I always wanted to see the Broadway production, but I never got a chance. I always looked it up online, couldn't find anything, just clips, and I didn't want to watch the clips because I wanted to see it all at one time for myself. So, when Wicked came out last November, I really wanted to see it, but I was going to wait until it came on streaming. But I did rent it over the weekend, and me and my daughter watched it, and she had already seen it, and she assured me that I was going to love it. And I did. I didn't have a lot to go on as far as the songs. Like I said, I only knew the book version, so all of the songs were new to me. Cynthia Erivo was fantastic in it. Ariana Grande, they could not have chosen a better Glinda for the role. I can tell that Ariana took some inspiration, of course she did, from Kristen for her Glinda role, because I could tell by little inflections in the way she was singing, but she made the role her own from what I could tell, and she was perfect. She was funny. Of course, she sings wonderfully. She always did. I always liked her. Cynthia Erivo is an amazing singer. Her voice was fantastic. But I know I'm giving all the praise to those two when everyone in the cast was phenomenal. The story was great. The acting was great. The scenes were great. The costumes were great. Everything about it was great. Now, I know a lot of people love the song Defying Gravity, and that is a good song, but my favorite song was Popular.
Popular. I'll help you be popular.
Another one of my favorite songs was I'm Not That Girl.
I'm not that girl.
There's so much about this story that I can relate to, about feeling like you don't belong, feeling like you're an outcast, like you're invisible. Michelle Yeoh was fabulous as Madame Morrible. Jeff Goldblum was great as the wizard. I always loved him anyway. It was just such a good movie, and I tell you what, and I know everybody loves that scene of when they go to the Ozdust and Elphaba comes in, and Galinda had given her the hat, trying to make a joke out of her, and then she realizes that she didn't deserve everyone's treatment of her. And they all treated her like she was just not worthy of being alive just because she was green and different, when she's the only one who had any really true magic powers at all. And anyway, as I said, the scene when she comes into the ballroom and Glinda sees her and she recognizes that she has caused more hurt for her, and she joins her on the dance floor, even though the people protested, and they danced together. And I tell you, that scene was so gentle and it was so beautiful. It makes me want to tear up now. Um, so of course I was fighting back tears when I was watching it, and just the realness of the emotion in that scene got me, and it still gets me. Anytime I'm watching a review of it, anytime I rewatch it myself, that scene, that is the scene. And I know that it took everyone seeing Galinda be kind to her before they decided to be kind to her, but it was such a beautiful scene. And then, of course, that leads into the popular song.
It's all about popular.
It's just the whole thing. And the way Elphaba was wanting to stand up for the animals, their voices were being silenced, and she wanted to stand up for that. And that's the whole reason that she had issue with the wizard and his plan. Once she got to the Emerald City, and she was so heartbroken because the wizard was behind everything. He wanted to unite them over a common enemy. So when she stood up for the animals and herself, she became the common enemy. That was heartbreaking too. And then Galinda didn't go with her. She didn't know how to stand up. She was just afraid. She knew what Elphaba had inside of her, and she let her go. but it wasn't goodbye forever. And I know what happens in part two because I said, I've read the book. I pretty much know how it's going to go, and that's going to be fantastic. I think that they're going to add a lot more about Dorothy when she comes to Oz and how she plays into it. I think they're going to show more of her character and give her more of the story, maybe even a song I heard of her own. Even if you don't like musicals, you will love this. It all leads back into itself. I've also already made plans. I'm going to be Elphaba for Halloween. It's going to be so fun. And I love The Wizard of Oz so much. I mean, I watched that on repeat when I was little. And it's nice to see how the characters have their backstory and how it's all linked in together in ways that you wouldn't expect. And also like how the part about the poppies comes into play from the original Wizard of Oz and to Wicked. Watching Wicked with all of the links and the backstories, it gives me so much more of an appreciation for the Wizard of Oz. Not that I already needed it because I love it anyway. It's just nice to see a different version and a different explanation as to why these things are happening. And I have to mention, like in the original, aside from the tornado scene, which was a marvel and it still is to me how they created it and filmed it, but aside from that, my favorite part is when they meet the Tin Man, because that's my favorite of all of the characters. The Tin Man I could relate to because he's so sentimental. He's such a bleeding heart. He's so emotional, and it's just like me. And the song he sings, "If I Only Had a Heart," that's my favorite song from the whole movie. Everybody loves Over the Rainbow, and I do too. But "If I Only Had a Heart," it's my favorite.
I could stay young and chipper, and I'd lock it with a zipper if I only had a heart.
I remember rewatching that over and over and over until I learned all the words when I was little. It reminds me of me so much, even though I probably could use a brain as well.
Oh, joy! Rapture! I've got a brain!
And the scene at the end when the wizard gives him the heart, that's the most beautiful thing. And he tells him the measure of a heart is not how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others. That is such a beautiful thing.
And remember, my sentimental friend, that a heart is not judged by how much you love, but by how much you are loved by others.
And I've carried that with me for my whole life. This is going to be a movie that I rewatch over and over, just like The Wizard of Oz, because both stories, they're intertwined. And to understand one is to understand the other. But anyway, I just wanted to say how much I loved this movie. I really would have liked to seen it on stage, and I still may end up doing that, but I don't think anything could beat this version. I don't think anything could be better than this version. I really would like to read Wicked again, just as a refresher before the next movie comes out. And I know some things are going to be different, but overall it's going to be the same. But if you haven't seen it yet, watch it because you will really enjoy it. Even if you don't love musicals, you will love it. Everyone can relate to this because I'm sure at some point or another everyone feels like Elphaba. They're outcast. They feel like that they're just lost, like they have no value. And that's so not true. Everyone has value. You just have to start believing in yourself. And when you do, things will happen. Thank you guys so much for joining me today and listening to me go on and on and on about how good this movie was. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. It really helps me out. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll always know when I upload a new video. I love y'all so, so much, and I will see you next time. I really do need to I would really like to reread Wicked. I really want to